F1, the movie, was actually really, really, really good. Chris and I watched this the other night. Had a great time with it. I did not expect Hans Zimmer to come out swinging with such a banger soundtrack that had me just. I mean, it was literally pulled you into the action the whole way through in the race sequences. So um, yeah, this was a very interesting movie. So first big film for Brad Pitt in quite some time, and they've done quite a big. They did quite a big marketing campaign for this. As far as where it stands right now, it did a box office of 620 million against a budget of estimated between 200 and 300 million. And by the way, there was another F1 movie we watched, I want to say about a year ago, which was more of like a video game. It was about, it was based on real life where this guy who played Sims and ended up becoming an F1 driver based on his performance in Sims. This, on the other hand, is not based on anything real other than the fact that it is real races. It has a lot of the actual F1 drivers of the moment in it. But the characters that are played by these two guys right here, Brad Pitt being the veteran and him being, what is his name? Uh, Damon Idris playing the rookie. These are fake characters that are made up for the purpose of the film. But anyway, let's dive in. So the premise almost sounds a little far fetched. And essentially, what it comes down to is the movie starts off by showing us this older gentleman who is out there driving in the, I believe it's the Grand Prix to start off with, and he's partaking in a marathon race. He's one of multiple drivers. He helps them win the race, takes his paycheck, and walks away. And the owner of the team is like, "I'd really like to hire you on to full time." And he's like, "Nah, nah, man, I'm good," and he's off. And then it shows him like he's living in a van, and he's just looking for the next race, and he's thinking about Baja, and he's having, he's in a like a diner having breakfast or whatever. And this guy walks in, and it turns out to be an old buddy of his who he raced with many, many, many years, like 30 years ago. And the basic idea here is that he suffered a horrible crash. Brad Pitt's character suffers a horrible crash and disappears. And he was a rising star at the time in Formula One, and ultimately has this crash and leaves the sport. And then after recovery and years of whatever, he then goes through multiple marriages and ends up just, he loves to drive, but he doesn't want to get tied down, and he just goes all over the place racing for, pennies. But he just loves to drive. Meanwhile, his character, which is Javier Bardem's character, Ruben Cervantes, is the owner of a team. And he finds his buddy Sonny and says, "Hey man, I've got this rookie kid. His name's Joshua Pierce in the film. He's like, I want you to come back and help us win. I've got this team. I put it together. We're in like I think it was the third year, he said, but we've been losing, 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 losing. If I don't win a race by the end of the year, we're going to lose the team. My investors will lose faith. We'll lose the team. They'll sell it off. He'll lose his career. I need you to come help save me." And Sonny, Brad Pitt's character, is like, "Are you out of your mind? Like, I'm 50 some years old. There's no way. I haven't driven F1 for 30 plus years, and I'm completely out of shape. Like, there's no." This is the part that's slightly unrealistic. But then his character Ruben goes on to talk about all these. He lists off multiple guys in their 50s who have won Grand Prix and stuff, and ultimately convinces him to come take the role. And for here, we get sort of some of the formulaic aspects of storytelling where we have a grizzled old veteran who comes up with a hot shotgun rookie who doesn't want to listen to the grizzled old veteran because he's like, "Piss off, old man." And that dynamic plays out throughout the core center of the film. Um, and that's normal. It's sort of the by the books part of the storytelling here. What I think really makes this movie shine is the direction and the cinematography, because oh my goodness, um, these guys actually put in real time in real Formula One cars that were, of course, stripped down versions of the Formula One cars. But I remember in the press interviews, they were talking about how Brad Pitt, and I don't know if it's listed on the page here, um, that he put in some thousands of hours. Prior to filming, they tested Formula 3 and Formula 2 cars. Dun, 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 dun. There were remote controlled cars as well used, but quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. Yeah, they use these really cool camera technologies, which had were also it's the same tech that was used to film Top Gun Maverick. It's the same director as well, and it's all about these custom cameras that Apple designed. So just some really nuts stuff that was done in terms of the filming, and these guys actually in the cars for a lot of the filming. So the cinematography in this is part of what made it so much fun to watch because there's I believe 9 total races that they go through the course of the film. And so we're seeing actual Formula One tracks, we're seeing actual Formula One races, and we're seeing close ups of these guys in the actual, obviously not actual Formula One cars, but versions of Formula One cars on the track. Very realistic, and I think that's part of what sold the movie, along with Hans Zimmer's just banger soundtrack every single time these guys were out racing. Um, Overall, like I said, Chris and I went into this movie not having, a ton of expectations other than we both like Brad Pitt as an actor. And we were like, hey, let's go watch this latest Brad Pitt film. It's got lots of press. It's, got lots of good reviews. Let's see what it's about. And we both walked away going, that was actually a really, really good movie. Um, the bulk of it, like I said, the core center of it is these two guys butting heads and eventually overcoming their odds to win the day. At the very, very end of the movie, they win the final race, which of course saves the team, saves his career, and then he walks off into the sunset and ends up down in Baja driving sand buggies across the desert for scratch money because he just has a love of racing, but he doesn't. He's just there to help, and he gets to be the star of the team, and he gets to walk away, and together they've got another 3 years ahead of them to lead the new team into victory and see where it goes from there. Um, Along the way, we get a pretty standard performance. Um, from Kerry Condon, who I actually remember her. The first thing I remember her from was Rome, HBO's Rome. She was the daughter, I think, much younger, of course, in that show. But she puts in every single time I see her in something, she's just a phenomenal actress. She always brings her A game to the table, and she plays the technical lead in this film and ends up sort of having a little bit of a fling with Brad Pitt's character. But ultimately, she does a great job in the role that she's given. And throughout here, we've got Tobias Menzies showing up as this creepy, scheming investor, and a cast of supporting as well. So just overall, really good film, a lot of fun, um, formulaic in the storytelling, but the cinematography and the overall just race aspects and the fact that these guys were actually in cars doing these things, I think that sold the movie for me. And I always love seeing new tech brought to the table, so it was cool to see what they had brought over from Top Gun Maverick and into this because it gets you up close and personal and you're in the cockpit with these guys. Um, and I just really, really, really enjoyed it. So, love to hear your thoughts. Drop them down below. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. I watch a lot of films and TV shows, and there will be more coming on the pipeline. Plus, there's a whole bunch of other stuff on the channel. We do video games as well, so check it all out, and we'll see you guys in the next one.